What's going on, everybody? My name is Greg Peters. You are watching the Car Passion channel, and today I've just got to swap out a couple of parts, make a couple little setup changes just to deal with some issues I've been having with the car. I want to keep you guys up to date on everything, and I got to make sure the car is in tip-top shape to bring to the dyno in a couple days for internet glory. So before I jump under the hood and get dirty, let me go over what I'll be doing today. First up, I'm going to relocate my air intake temperature sensor out of the intake manifold because I'm dealing with some serious heat soak issues right now. Oil is being changed out to Mobil 1 Synthetic 5W30 per Flying Miata's recommendations. If you're going to switch your brand new engine over to synthetic, you should wait at least 1,000 miles, and I just rolled over 1,000 miles on my engine. Despite having excellent luck in the past with my 3 Innovate MTXL widebands, I finally had a brand new sensor fail on me, so I'm going to replace the sensor right before going to the dyno because that's when it's going to be the most important to get good readings. Brand new fuel filter to ensure the old one is not a restriction in the system, and when you switch over to E85, it's always a good idea to do a brand new filter. Plus, these things are cheap. I am still dealing with a little bit of cooling issues, so I installed the second fan to hopefully help with idle. But the other thing is with the coolant reroute, you are supposed to cut the little dingly-dongly out of the thermostat to help the coolant flow through it faster when the car is warming up and help the thermostat open when it's supposed to. Now, I didn't do that when I put my first thermostat in, so I just got another thermostat, cut that bad boy out, and I'm gonna swap it out. Hopefully that helps. I don't know if this really matters that much, but I am going to switch the side that my fuel rail feed is on. Right now I've got the feed and the return on the same side, and I did see some comments about possibly the fuel in this side of the rail getting heat soaked or not getting as much fuel or something like that, and I can't really prove it one way or the other, but I think it will be better having the feed on one side and the return on the other. I've also got some pretty serious prototype ducting in there. It's basically a box I built between the intercooler and the radiator to ensure once the air goes through the intercooler, its only choice is to go through the radiator, which will help with cooling at speed. Currently, I've got the air intake temperature sensor right in the back of the intake manifold, which should give very accurate readings as far as what temperature the air is entering the cylinders because it's right before the cylinders. But the problem is the metal body on that sensor gets very hot when you're sitting at idle and the engine bay is getting hot, and it can give false readings as far as what temperature the air is actually entering the cylinders. So I want to put the sensor right here in this intercooler pipe. Of course, the air might change a few degrees from the time it gets here to the inside of the motor, but the change is not going to be massive. The important part is that the sensor goes after the intercooler, because you've got this outside air, but it doesn't matter what temperature this air is, because after it goes through the turbocharger, it gets a lot hotter. But it still doesn't matter what temperature that air is, because once it goes through the intercooler, it gets a lot colder. So you just got to measure that air after the intercooler, and that's going to give you the best reading as far as what's going into the engine. Get a better look at my boxing in that I did between the intercooler and the radiator. And I know everyone's gonna be like, oh, you spent thousands on your engine and you made ducting out of cardboard. But it's just a test to see how big of a deal my lack of ducting is. And if this is super effective, then I can do it out of ABS plastic or something a little more permanent. But why, when I could make this in 5 minutes to do testing? So I took my inline thermostat housing out, and the thermostat was already pre-drilled by 949 with the reroute, so turns out that that was not a problem. Fuel filter is right up underneath this plastic guard, and there's a couple little pieces of rubber fuel hose that also should be replaced if you replace your filter. Check this out. This is pouring the fuel backwards out of the filter. Look at that. That's all stuff that the filter has stopped that would have been going into your motor, into my motor I should say. So yeah, only 30,000 on it. I definitely recommend changing your fuel filter every year. Alright guys, all things considered, I think I'm about as ready for the dyno as I'm going to be. It's happening tomorrow. It's going to be a huge day. I'm super excited, but also very nervous. I hope everything all holds together. It's all done pretty well so far. The next video, you guys are going to get some numbers, and we're going to do some big pulls. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Back from the dead.